So you are never gonna need this until the day you do. Let that sink in. And check this scenario out. You're driving, right? You're not paying attention to the temperature on your car. Something may have happened at the shop that you dealt with that may have sparked a flame. That flame takes over your engine bay. You have nothing to save your vehicle. One of the things that we should all look into is safety, precautions, and something to protect your vehicle. So we all have insurance, right? Mandated by the state, mandated by many places where you live. One of the things that you should probably look into as you modify your car is actually the extra layer of safety. And I'm gonna show you guys that. All right, so myself and Beamer Invasion have partnered up with OEM Extinguishers. As you can see, this is a fire extinguisher. This is not your traditional fire extinguisher because this is actually from BMW. This is a BMW product that you probably haven't seen. If you are on YouTube and you follow some of the other social media influencers, then you probably have seen this. But one of the best things about this is that this is a BMW product that is actually not really readily available here in the United States. The company OEM Extinguishers actually brought this over, and it's gonna make it readily available for the community. One of the things that we'll talk about is how easy it is to install, which we're gonna do on my G80 M3. And also in a future video, we're gonna be installing this on the giveaway E92 M3, because we're gonna take that to a different level with modifications, a tune, and everything you could think of, right? But we're also gonna protect it. And we're gonna talk about that in this video. So you're probably thinking you're never gonna need it, right? But there's always that chance of the unknown. And as we modify our cars, right, insurance is only gonna cover the car itself, unless you opted to cover the modifications you do. And some of the modifications that you probably have done, right, are, aftermarket wheels, suspension, exhaust, which we all know this platform really needs an exhaust. But when you think about the totality of the circumstances, is that when you have something so simple as a fire extinguisher, you can suppress that fire that's gonna destroy your whole car. I know once the engine starts catching on fire or your exhaust, whatever it is, right? Most likely it could be totaled, but if you stop that fire right there, you could save the rest of your modifications. And for me, these expensive BBS wheels that I have on the car, the exhaust system, God forbid I ever have that situation where the engine bay is catching on fire, I could use this, stop it from right there, and prevent the rest from being destroyed. And I'm hoping at that point it gets totaled, because I don't want this car after that, but I do want to keep the parts, right? And the parts are something that's invaluable depending on what you got, and also to a point where, again, if you don't have the insurance that covers your aftermarket parts, then say goodbye to all that money you spent on it, right? And that will definitely suck. So as you guys know, throughout the years, I've partnered with a lot of different companies, but there's companies that I partner up with that I stand behind. And this is a company that I truly definitely would highly recommend, especially if you're looking for that extra peace of mind. One of the best things is that, hey, if you have no idea what you're doing, they have it all printed out here for you, right? So you're able to kind of go through the instructions, and it's absolutely super simple. And if I'm doing it, it's definitely simple, because I could film it and also do it and actually enjoy this nice fire extinguisher. And actually it's going to provide an aesthetic kind of appeal to it, right? Because now you have the carbon bucket seats. Now you kind of make it look a little bit more official with the fire extinguisher. All right, so we mentioned that the guidelines to installing this fire extinguisher is super simple. They give you everything you need, right? It's 2 T40 screws that's going to go into your factory bracket, right? It's nothing that you have to modify. And one of the best things is that you don't have to drill into the car. You don't have to drill into your seats or have any outstanding that's going to make it look unaesthetically appealing, right? So this is all OEM, where BMW is actually manufactured this to fit into your factory seat. You can use this in your carbon buckets if you guys have opted for that. You can also use it on your comfort seats, right? The seats that kind of make you feel like you're sitting on a couch. Nothing taken to the guys that don't have carbon buckets. I'm just playing a little bit, but again, it works on both sets. We're gonna push the seat back just to get a little more room. And then we're also gonna raise the seat up. See, this is where you're gonna be mounting the bracket for the fire extinguisher. There's one on this side, and also there's another one on that side. All right, so very simple, just 2 screws and then you're done. There's gonna be one on this side of the seat and also one on the other side, plain and simple. And we're just gonna mount it up. All right, so from the looks of it, this does not protrude or actually get in the way when you want to adjust your seat. Obviously, this does hang out a little bit, but again, this gives you an opportunity to, obviously have that peace of mind, and then we'll talk about it a little more. All right, you guys are probably thinking, look, I could buy a fire extinguisher from Walmart, things like that. The only issue is that you're not going to be able to mount it, right? Or you're not gonna be able to find a OEM mount, right, where it's not intrusive, where you don't have to drill into the car, where you don't need to use any special brackets. All that is in place with this system. In my JDM days, I've had a fire extinguisher in my car. It was ones that you could pick up from Walmart. And my only problem is that when I had it in the trunk, it would roll around. It would clank onto things, clank onto some of the spare tools that I would bring to an event just in case I needed. But one of the hazards about that is that you could actually puncture the fire extinguisher, and that becomes a whole mess, right? If you guys ever use the fire extinguisher, and also especially trying to clean it up, it becomes a mess. So one of the best things is that this gets mounted to a secure spot, readily available, especially it's right on the passenger seat. You could reach over, grab it, use it if you need to. So I did mention that it's high quality. One of the things that you should probably look into is actually that this has a lifespan of 20 years. Right? And one of the best things is that if you use it, God forbid you had to use it for, let's just say that you're on the track and a fellow track member has a fire with their car. And a buddy of mine, Doug, he actually tracks his cars, and he actually had to use one of his fire extinguishers in his track car for somebody else's car. So situations like that could happen. So if you ever had to refill it, you could. This is not a one-time use. And the guys over at OEM are actually able to do that. So you could send it back over to them, they could replenish it, and also get it back to spec and send it back over to you. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. And again, this is a super easy install. It's 2 bolts into your factory bracket of your seats, and then you're good to go, right? You're gonna have that peace of mind. You're gonna have that peace of mind where you wanna take it to the track or even take it to the car show, especially for a lot of you guys that do these insane customization with single turbos, or upgraded turbos, when you have upgraded lines. All that stuff could be a problem, right? In a situation where things could spark or things could catch on fire if things are not done properly, because let's be honest, we're not all perfect, right? Even some of these shops we go to, sometimes things get, mishapped and things don't happen the way it should be. So having this readily available in your situation where you're in that dire need could save your vehicle. Again, I want to thank the team over at OEM Extinguishers for sending this over. It's something that looks actually really incredible, actually. It really gives you that sports car vibe, and I really want to thank them for sending this over. So then I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys find this video helpful, again, hit the thumbs up. It helps my small channel grow. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.